standing your truth. Every voice matters, yeah, we see you. Love who you are, let the world know. This is your moment, let your light glow. More than a story, more than a name. We break the silence, rewrite the frame. Autism, neurodivergence, every mind shines bright. Mental health, self-love, stepping into the light. For the parents, the dreamers, the ones who push through. Awesomely you, we celebrate you. Oh, 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 oh. Awesomely you, we rise, we shine. Vowing voices, breaking the lines. This ain't just a podcast, this is a move. Celebrating every story, making room. For the ones who speak in ways they don't understand. For the hearts that love big, for the ones who take a stand. For the ones who see the world in a different way. We amplify your voice, let the world hear what you say. Every challenge, every win, every step you take. You are seen, you are loved, this is your space. No more silence, no more fear. Awesomely you, we're standing here. We are the voices, we are the change.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Awesomely You podcast. If you're new here, guess what? I'm happy to have you. Today, we are focusing on a new topic that has not touched this platform yet. And I'm super excited to have her. I'm your host, Crystal Jordan, and let's get into who she is. She is a coach, she's an advocate, she's a podcast speaker, she's a 4 times Amazon bestseller who is passionate about empowering young adults with disabilities to achieve their dreams. And one thing I like about this advocate, you guys, she is a deaf advocate for the community of hard hearing people. These are topics that we don't talk about enough. When we think about ASL, do we know it? So for me, I am ready to introduce her to the world, to you guys. She was on my old platform a very long time ago called the Bedroom Talk Show, and I'm happy to have her back because, number one, talking about disabilities, I feel like they should be seen and heard, and especially people who have disabilities should be able to share their stories. So, I did not want to mess her name up, you guys. I mean, like, why Chris haven't said her name yet? Because I know what I read. I know what I said in my head.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Kellina Powell, aka the Deaf Queen Boss. Don't worry about the background. Yeah. So thank you so much, Crystal, for having me here. I'm excited to be here to tell you guys about my story, my journey, what it's like to be deaf in the hearing community, also in the deaf community as well. How did I overcome my struggles, and what did I have to do? Right? I feel like a lot of us don't talk about this topic, especially those who are deaf or hard of hearing. It's a very difficult topic that a lot of people feel like they can't talk about it. And that's why I come in a picture and bring the voices for my community to let them know that they are not alone in this world. If I can do it, you can do it.
So, my question for you is what made you want to be an advocate when it comes to the deaf community or the hard of hearing community? Because I realize in the community, some people are just saying hard of hearing, some people are saying deaf. So, how do you prefer, for your opinion, the community to be addressed?
Yes. Honestly, truly, the reason why I want to become an advocate is because when I was younger, I had no role model. When I tell you guys, I had no role model, like zero. And it was so hard to tell people how to advocate for me. And I remember in high school, I was actually looking for a social worker or a psychologist that was hard of hearing or deaf. And I really wanted to find someone who understand me for me, not understand me from the book, right? And I think we all can relate to that way when we talk to somebody about our problem. You're hoping that they genuinely understand where you are coming from. And so that was a very difficult for me, and that's when I realized that I did not want any young child to go through what I went through. I did struggle a lot with my mental health, especially my anxiety and depression while I was growing up, because I didn't know how to identify myself. Should I call myself deaf or should I call myself hard of hearing? It was very difficult growing up to really learn about who I am as a person when I grow up. So it all started because I actually became deaf at the age of 4 due to an ear infection. So I, of course, I'm young, a child who just started school, a child had no idea what's going on, and so that was something I had to really learn for myself. Is like, how do I want to be called? Do I want to be called deaf or hard of hearing? And so for me, I know that I've been in two different communities, the deaf community and the hearing community. I learned that with both community, I realized that there's nobody that looked like me, especially someone, woman of color, a woman that is also deaf who interacts with both the hearing and the deaf community. So it's very difficult, and I realized that when I was growing up, is that this needs to change. And I figured out something when I was in college and university. I tried to figure out something around my degree that I had. I have a psychology degree, and I was trying to figure out how can I make a change in the deaf community to let them know that they are not alone in this world. It was very difficult at first. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I didn't know where to go. Like, I really didn't. And so I knew social media could be a great way to reach out to people, to advocate and be out there for the deaf community and really interact with the hearing community, teaching them what it's like to be deaf in the hearing role. And so that's why I choose to be an advocate. And that's really how I identify myself as a hard of hearing person. However, I know different community label themselves different. So for me personally, I am labeled as a hard of hearing person.
Thank you for sharing that because I have, since I have crossed over into learning more about other disabilities beyond autism, I've noticed that just like autism, um, every community want to be called something different. So I was like, oh, okay. That's why I wanted to know about that because somebody may be listening to this, and I know people are going to use Austin U as a platform for resources. They may not know what you just stated. So my next question is, when it comes to you getting your devices, your hearing aid as an adult, how was that? Because what is like, walk me through that journey. Because I have a friend who recently found out she was deaf in one of her ears, and her hearing aid looks like an ear pod, like
Okay,
something
yeah.
like that. And management used to think that it was that. And she said, no, these are my hearing aids. So with the new right, with the new elevation of hearing aids, let's get.
So for me, when I started wearing hearing aids, I was 4 years old, you guys. So the technology changed over time, and so it's like cell phone, iPhone, for example. It was bad and it gets better. It's literally just like hearing aids as well. And thinking with cochlear implant, it improves so much. So for me, as an adult now, I'm grateful that I'm able to have affordable hearing aids. Not everybody have access to hearing aids, unfortunately. That's what I noticed now that I'm getting older, that a lot of hearing aids are more expensive than others. Some people have to go through insurance. Some insurance may not be covered, and that's something that a lot of people I noticed that struggled a lot with. For me personally, I didn't have to go through that because my family um, makes sure that they were educated about the hearing aid technology, the tools, what do I need. So my family did invest in themselves and understanding what type of hearing aid I need, which I'm very grateful for. And for me now getting older, that I'm finally understanding my hearing loss. I felt like when I was growing up, I just kind of pushed it underneath the rug. I think it's because I was trying to get myself out there, trying to do what I have to do. But then I have to understand and realize that I have to take a step back and truly learn how to communicate. And 90% of the time when we are outside in public, we are 100% communicating with other people. And so that was definitely something that I had to go through while I was growing up. And it wasn't easy, to be honest. because I know a lot of people hear lots of different. My biggest advice, honestly, truly, for those who are listening, and if you don't know what type of technology to go with, I highly, highly suggest you to speak with a specialist about what is it that you are capable of, how much it is, and also don't be afraid to get a second opinion from a different specialist. It's very important to have two different opinions on the tool, because I feel like if you know when you go to one person, they may give you something and you're like, okay, yeah, but then where if you go with somebody else for second opinion, you may get something different, and you just never know. So yeah, so that definitely be my advice.
Mm, I want you to take a time back. I'm closing my eyes because I heard what you said. You say you feel like you had no role model while you became an advocate. You also said you wish you had someone who could advocate for you, that understood what you went through versus reading what you're going through. What can you say to your younger self today?
Okay, that's a really good question. To my youngest self today, I would say it not every day is going to be a good day. Some days will be a bad day. Do not feel that you are behind just because you're deaf. That is one piece of advice I would tell my youngest self.
I love that. So my next question is, if it was a parent listening today, or a caregiver, or a loved one who has a loved one that has the same amazing power you have, hard of hearing, what advice would you give that parent? Or what resource can you give that parent?
So that's a great question. I get this question all the time when I give to somebody. So parent number one, I'm gonna go through everything, okay guys? So I'm gonna go through everything. So the very first thing I would give advice to parents is do not be afraid of allowing your child to express themselves. I know as a parent you are overprotective. I understand that because my family's are like that. My family 100% protective of me, like very protective until this day. I wish they would allow your child to express themselves. That's very important. And number two, never feel like your child cannot fit in any other activity. Allow your child to be part of different activities. Because if you do not do that, you're not really helping them to build their confidence and teaching them how to be independent. It's very important that we teach children how to be independent. So, for example, if you know that your child wants to join, for example, basketball, and like, I don't know, they're gonna get hurt because of their hand lock. Do not be afraid, because that's the only way your child will grow and learn how to be independent. It's very important that we do give that space to our child to let them breathe on their own. Because let me tell you something. If something were to happen to you while you get older, for example, car accident, or you make a stick, and your child's going to be okay, because you give them the space and the opportunity to be in different activity, interact with different kids. So give them that little, not push, but give them that little space where they can breathe on their own. And number two, if you are a caregiver and you have someone who is hard of hearing or deaf, I would say learn about them. Learn how they communicate. It's very important that we understand how people communicate. I feel like if you don't understand how they communicate, you cannot have a full conversation with them, which is very important, right? So it's very important that we do learn how to communicate with other people and understand how they communicate, right? What do they need? What do they want? And also don't please also my biggest advice I tell everybody, whether it's parents, caregiver, is allow them to be independent. Don't overstep too much. When they want something, they will ask you. Don't overstep too much. And always ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's my advice for everybody. The answer will always be no if you do not ask questions. Because it's very important that you do ask questions, because we will appreciate that you even asked it. I love when someone comes to me and say, Kalina, how do we accommodate you beyond a podcast? What is it? I would be like, oh my God, thank you so much for asking, right? Because we acknowledge what you're asking, what you're doing. We truly, truly appreciate when people ask us questions instead of assuming what the best thing for us, where they don't understand. So that's why I always say understand how they communicate, give them the space, and give them the independent. If they really, really need something from you, they will ask you. And also to give, don't be afraid to say, hey, like, can I order your food? Or like, don't be afraid to ask questions.
You gave some good ones. I think my favorite one was never feel like your child cannot fit in, because I know this is about you, but I know for a fact that was one of my fears of me having a nonverbal autistic child, is my child not being able to fit in. And he fit in great. He fit in great. He's hilarious. And then my other favorite one you said is your child will be okay. And then the last one that you said that really got me was learn about them and learn how they communicate. So when you say communication, are we talking about ASL? Are we talking about an AAC device? Dive more into the communication style.
So there's different ways of communication styles. So for me, I communicate verbally, sorry, verbally and lip reading. So a lot of people don't know this. I do rely on heavily on lip reading, 100%. I rely probably like 10% of my hand loss, to be honest. Unless if I'm in a loud crowd, then yes. And I would say there are different ways that everybody communicate. I know everybody uses devices. So for example, cell phone, right? So there's some people who are hard of hearing and rely on closed caption while they're on their cell phone. So when you are talking, the phone picks up what you're saying, and the client or the person will see what you're saying through their cell phone. So there's so many different ways that people communicate. But for those who don't know, about 80% of hard of hearing deaf individuals rely on lip reading the majority of the time to fully have a conversation. And devices, there's so many variety of ways of devices. I know I get this question a lot. What devices are there to for people to use? I tell people honestly, cell phones, because of technologies had been improved a lot with hearing aids and cochlear implants. There's an app. For some people don't know that there's some form of app on the cell phone that hard of hearing people use, and because for Samsung and iPhone, they finally upgraded to closed caption for FaceTime and stuff and phone call, which has been amazing. I'm not too sure about Samsung because I do not have Samsung. So yeah, so those are my what I could say about the tools about communication. I would say don't be afraid to ask if they are using their cell phone. I know some people get a little intimidated when they see a cell phone like this, and like and then and I'm like, oh no, they probably need you to speak a little bit louder because they're actually picking up what you're saying on their cell phone. So don't be a little intimidated. But one of my piece of advice I always tell people is if you know someone who is fully deaf and who does not verbally communicate, don't be afraid to reach out to your cell phone and type something on your cell phone and you can show it to them so that you can communicate with them.
I love that we touch on so many important things when it comes to this topic, because, like I said, I don't feel like we talk about hard of hearing people enough. I I'm so happy this year, and even last year for the Super Bowl, we seen ASL being like introduced. That for me, and I'm a hearing person, and I only know very little ASL. I enjoy watching the Super Bowl with the ASL, the YouTube version, and watching them, you know, do it for the hard of hearing community. That was amazing. And I'm happy to see we're starting to see more ASL more than ever. I had a guest speak ASL to me the other day, and I knew what he was saying. My coworkers did not. They were so confused.
Oh,
I was like, thank you. And he's like,
that's so
like
cute.
he said, and I was like, it should be. I really feel like ASL should be taught in all schools, and it should be an elective for
Right.
people to learn it, so we can communicate with our people like you or people who are hard of hearing. Um, so I just wanted to put that out there because I think this topic is super important. And before we get into the fun stuff, Is it anything else that you want to touch on within your community that you feel like you need to touch on, or is there anything you want to share about your books or anything? Because
Oh,
you are a bestseller.
sorry, Crystal, can you repeat that again?
I said it's okay. I said, is there anything that you want to share uh, to better educate people in your community, and also do you want to talk about your books because you are a bestseller?
Okay, thank you. I would say yes. So for the community, I just wish that it's not just my community, but I just wish people were more open, to the deaf community. I wish more people were more acceptable. I feel like a lot of time when people are not acceptable, we cannot open the space for the deaf community to come in and really be themselves. And so I wouldn't say my deaf community is a problem. A lot of time I know my deaf community get themselves out there, but every time they do it, someone shuts them down and they avoid of going into that space. And it's very unfortunate that there's not a lot of role models or even a voice for the deaf community to get them out of the box and be like, hey, yes, you can do it. You can go talk to somebody. So it's very unfortunate that it it's really sad that a lot of the deaf community cannot be themselves because they're always constantly having to advocate for themselves, have to over explain themselves to people, and they get tired. People really do get tired, and so this is where it leads me to my book. My very first book is called Every Day I Am Just Deaf. I wrote my very first book because I noticed that when I was younger, I was also looking for a deaf author book to read, and unfortunately, I could not find anything. And that's when I knew, I think when I was in grade 9 or grade 10, I was like, I'm going to write a book. I know I'm going to write a book. And something just jerked to me, and I was like, you know what? I don't know what to write. And I was nervous. And for those who probably don't know, I actually had a speech delay. So for me, I was nervous to write my first book because I didn't even know my first book was going to make sense. And luckily, thankfully, I had a great editor. She was amazing, and she truly understood what I was trying to say. And I think when you're super nervous because you don't know what's going to happen, what people are going to say. And so, at the back of my mind, I knew I had a vision with my book because I wanted to make sure that my deaf community was not alone in the world to really truly understand that if I can do it, you can do it. And so my book is a poem book actually, my very first book, and it's very lovely. It's less than 100 pages, you guys. It's not a chapter book. Yeah, no, I can't do chapter books. I love poems so much, and so it's a very poem book. It's really straightforward. It just talks about me being deaf daily basic from the age of 4 to 21 years old. You're going to really understand what is Kellina life is like, who is Kellina. Like you're going to really understand who I am by reading my book. And yeah, so my second, third, and fourth book is a collaboration book with other people around the world who are also in entrepreneurship and also those who are disabled. My last book just been launched April 30th. It's entrepreneurship with disabilities. It's on Amazon, so it's a very resourceful book for everyone who is disabled but also owns their own business. So we do wanted to push that book to let people know that you can start a business when you are disabled or if you do have a disability. It doesn't matter what type of disability you have, you can still achieve anything you like in your life. Yes, it's going to take some time to get there, but it does not mean that you will not have success in your journey.
So, I have a question for you. My question is, or are you the first deaf author?
Yes, in Canada, apparently. So,
How does that make you feel to hit that accomplishment?
at first, I had no idea. I had no idea at first. I was like, wait, what? And then my mentor, she said, you're the first deaf black woman that wrote a book. And I'm like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, I did, I am. So I mean, it's an honor. But at the same time, it was nervous because I was like, oh my god. So I love it. But yeah, I'm really very excited. Honestly, I really didn't think about it like that. So
I remember when you published it because I think that was our first interview we did, and it was so long ago. I think it was like 5 years ago at this point. And I just remember you talking about your book. You said, I just read a book. You were so excited. He's like, "Duh, duh, duh." Anyway, it was so funny and so cute at the same time. But now we're about to get into the awesomely fun segment. And this is keeping it real. So I'm going to ask you some random questions, and
Okay.
you're going to just answer it. You're not going to think too much into it. And I can't answer you that one because I know that's gonna you're gonna give me some thought. So
Okay,
I'm
I'm
gonna
ready.
ask you,
Okay.
describe yourself using a song. What is one song that perfectly describes you and why?
Okay. I would say it's a Michael Jackson song, you guys. I love my Michael Jackson. It's just song. I know it's probably such a weird song, but I have honestly it sucks. I have two songs. The one is Michael Jackson, "Remember the Time." I don't know why. I just love that song. I feel like that song describes me a lot because I love to dance. I am very physical when it comes to music. I don't know why. I love Michael Jackson. Remember the Time. I feel like that is just a song that represents my life because I'm very active and I always remember my past and how far I come. And the second song is "Goes Round the World" by Beyonce. The reason why I love that song that represents me is because, again, the first Black deaf author, and also I know that girls on the world, girls are out there, girls are empowering, and I love uplifting other women to let them know that they're not alone in the world. And so yeah, so I'm very all about empowering, uplifting other women. So I Girls on the Road by Beyonce really represent my life too.
If you could have dinner with anyone, living or not, who would it be?
Okay. You guys, honestly, there's so many people I would love to go dinner with. Who would I like to go dinner with? I don't know. There's so many people in my head. Um, truly, honestly, I would say Aaliyah. I would love to go to dinner with Aaliyah just because I love her so much. Like she's just everything to me. She's so beautiful. She's very talented, and one of my favorite songs by her is called "Rock the Boat." It's my forever favorite song. I don't know why. Just so like she's just amazing. She's so talented. Like she's so beautiful. But yeah, I think I would have a dinner with Aaliyah because I would love to ask her how does she overcome her confidence, especially being a young age, being in the spotlight and able to really navigate around the industry. I feel like she overcomes so much. Like watching her documentary about her life when she passed away. So yeah, I would love to have dinner with Aaliyah.
Aaliyah.
Yes.
I have not heard that one yet. I haven't heard that one at all. Like,
Yeah.
okay, guilty pleasure. What is your show right now or your song? Like, what is got to be current? Hmm.
The song? Okay.
What
Okay.
is your what is your guilty pleasure for song or show?
I would say show. Okay. We're getting a
Hmm.
little spicy now, you guys.
What is it?
Okay. My show, I wish they is Teen Mom.
Hmm.
Teen Mom. I love watching Teen Mom. That is my show right now. Yeah, I know. I don't know why. I love Teen Mom. That show is crazy.
I used to love it when I was a teen. Then as I got like as I hit, I think it came out when I was 16. And then when I turned 17, I said, "Why are we promoting teen pregnancy? Like, this is not cute." Anyway. That's all I used to think about. So we're
It's
about to
weird.
go And I'm gonna ask one more question. My next question is, if you can meet one role model, who would it be and why? They can be dead or alive. They don't have to be living. They can be from a different century. It doesn't matter.
Sorry, repeat that question again.
I said, if you can meet one role model who's
Mm-hmm.
dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Alrighty. Okay, guy. She got me again. She got me again. Um, who would it be? I don't know. Okay, dead or alive. Um, I would say my grandmother. My grandma passed away a month before COVID happened. She is definitely one of my role models. She's a line. She's everything to me. And the reason why I wanted to sit down with my grandma is because I want to show her my success and honoring her legacy that she left behind for me and my family. And my grandmother was like a second mom to me. My mom had me when she was young. So my grandma basically took over a lot for my mom so that my mom can go to school and, finish her education. And yeah, my grandma was always amazing to me, and she always gave me so many crazy advice. Like I think some of us had grandparents that give us some weird advice while we grow up, and we're like, "Why are they telling us this?" So my grandmother was one of those grandma that just talks to me like, and I'm like, "Grandma," I'm like, "What? What?" Yeah, I would love to have a dinner with my grandma one more time just to really go over my life and just show her what I've been through for her and what did I made out of myself. And I know she'll be very proud, and I would just love to hear her voice one more time.
That's why I'm big on keeping recordings from my loved ones of their voice for I can play it because I hear that a lot about I wish I could just hear that voice one more time. So I always try to record like my mom voice, my dad voice, my sons, hell my voice too for people who
Right.
who knows me and stuff like that. So I love that answer. I was not expecting you to go there. I was expecting you to pick somebody from a different century. That's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was. That's what I was thinking.
Yes. Yes. They know best, to be honest. Grandma knows best, right? So especially
Grandma
people
does
who.
know best. I
Yeah.
wish. I wish I could call my grandma. My grandma passed when I was 19. So and I'm
Mm,
35. So it's
wow.
yeah. But I used to call my grandma like at least 10 times a day. I was the grandkid, and she knew I was gonna be like, "It's Crystal," and I'd be like, "Grandma." I'll never forget one time I called my grandma crying because I got a C on my test in college, and I said, "I don't think I can do this." The professor gave me a C. Yeah, she told me I got it, but I said I don't feel like it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
I
they
don't feel
do.
like
They
it.
like they're a little
I
hype
don't
up
feel
when we
like it,
don't see
Grandma.
it.
I used to call her. I'm telling you, I used to call her all the time. I used to call.
Yeah.
I used to call her all the time. I like a boy. I call my grandma. I call grandma,
Yes.
grandma,
Yes.
grandma. Oh my god, that's so funny. You just gave me some like. I hope anybody listening or watching really is enjoying this interview. So before we end this interview, I asked two questions. But the first question I ask every guest is, how can my audience find you, follow you, support you, and also buy your books?
Yeah. So everyone can find me on social media, which is Kellina Powell, or Instagram, which is Deaf Queen Boss, and as well where you can find me anywhere honestly, like TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. It's all gonna be Kellina Powell. It's just my Instagram is Deaf Queen Boss. And to find my book, my very first book, my poem book, you can find it on Amazon. Every Day I Am Just Deaf. Or if you want an Amazon, you guys can just type in my name, Kellina Powell, and then it will pop up. It's not a problem. And also, yeah, if you have any other questions, you guys can reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatnot. I'm more than happy to respond to any question. If you are someone who would listen to this and you have a question, please send me a message, podcast, so that way I know you're one of the podcast guests listening.
I love that. And like I told you before we recorded, I asked every guest. I'm gonna put it up. I know about heart, but I'm gonna put it up for you. It says now before we wrap up, I would love to share I want you to share affirmation that our guests, our listeners, our audience can take away from today's conversation. Something that reminds them to embrace their true uniqueness. I really believe by affirmations, and I love to end every podcast with an affirmation.
Yeah, I love that question so much. I love it. Who doesn't, you guys? Who doesn't? So for me, I would say the one affirmation that I go and follow is life is too short to be stressing over something that you cannot control. Life is always going to be a roller coaster, but you do have to keep in mind that you have to keep moving forward. God put you in this planet for a good reason. You just never know what it is, but you will find out shortly. Sorry. But yeah, keep moving forward, keep going.
So, unfortunately, due to technology, I didn't catch any of the affirmation. You went out as soon as I went off of the screen, right? So I need you to say that whole thing again.
Yeah, so I was sorry, I cut off. So for me, I would say is honestly, truly, life is too short to be stressing over something that you cannot control. Move forward, keep going. God had a plan for you, and you are here for a good reason. But I know some people don't know what it is, but don't be afraid.
For our listeners, she said, now repeat it after me as I say this. Life is too short to stress over things we cannot control. So, like right now, one thing I can control is my son entering doing my podcast session stimming. And he's supposed to be in bed asleep. So we're gonna go over this affirmation again. We're gonna go over this affirmation again. Life is too short to stress over things that we cannot control. So I want my guests and everybody to repeat that and say that because affirmations are very important and that is something that we should all say. Do you have any final words before I do my closing?
Yeah, my final word is to everybody that's listening is honestly, truly keep going. I know it's such a hard time for our life right now. Just never give up. And honestly, truly, believe me, I was there. It took me years to build my confidence to where I am right now. And honestly, truly, you will find it and you will get through it. Do not be afraid to reach out for help.
That's a key takeaway. Don't be afraid to reach out for help because sometimes we have our babies with different abilities. Some of us are afraid to reach out. Some of us feel like we're like people gonna judge us. So I love to hear what you just said because that it may be simple, but that's somebody may need that. So with that being said, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed Austin You podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed our guests and us talking about the deaf community and the hard of hearing community. As I say every week, please make sure you support her. Go to her website, follow her, support her, buy her book, go on Amazon. And without that being stated, I'm your host, Crystal Jordan. And if you want to be featured in AustinUMagazine.com, you go to Austin Magazine /be featured to be featured. If you want to be a guest on our podcast, you go to AustinUMagazine.com and click on the podcast part and be featured. So with that being stated, you guys, I'm your host, Crystal Jordan, and we're out. Bye, y'all.
We rise, we shine, vowing voices, breaking the lines. This ain't just a podcast, this is a move. Celebrating every story, making room. For the ones who speak in ways they don't understand. band. For the hearts that love big, for the ones who take a stand, for the ones who see the world in a different way. We amplify your voice, let the world hear what you say. Every challenge, every win, every step you take, you are seen, you are loved, this is your space. No more silence, no more fear, awesomely you, we're standing here. We are